What's going on YouTube? This is KrypTik Sweller here. Haven't been here in a while, I know, but I'm back. Just been doing a lot lately, and today I'm here to show you a kind of reworked in progress version of the Minecraft texture pack Realistico, which is primarily just on PC, but on Bedrock edition, the port, it doesn't have a lot of blocks, and even on PC it doesn't have a lot of blocks, and a lot of stuff stands out of place. So if you want to use it as your main texture pack, there's kind of a problem because a lot of stuff just looks out of place. You can't use a lot of blocks. It's mainly just for aesthetic photos, I guess, unless you just really don't like those blocks. So my kind of goal is to make it, you know, a playable, cool looking texture pack. So I guess in order to do that, first off, I don't know how, but I fucked up the grass. It looks retarded. Only on the sides. On the top and bottom it looks normal. I don't understand it. I'll fix that later though. But if you don't know what Realistico is, I have some stuff placed down for you just to kind of show you, but it's pretty much just Minecraft, the normal texture pack, but very HD and more realism looking. So I've changed the paintings. They're from another texture pack just because these ones are more HD and not default, so they won't look as out of place. One of the things I'm definitely going to change is the blackstone, because I love blackstone, I love using it, and it looks cool, but it still defaults. So I'm probably going to be updating that, probably based on like stone bricks or something like that, make it more high definition. Mobs I'm probably not going to mess with, just because I don't really care that much about them. Not a huge part of the game. They don't look that out of place. If you have the texture pack or you've seen it, you know that the only two trapdoors that they have in are literally iron and normal oak trapdoor. So I've already started completing the rest of them with I think this Acacia wood trapdoor. I think it looks really nice. It took a little bit of work to get it to look and match with the rest of the pack, but that's my goal, is to do that essentially for the entire texture pack. And so far it's been going good. The armor, I'm going to make these three look more like default texture pack, but temporarily I have placeholders from a different texture pack. That way I could at least have the same and correct file size, and these ones do match a little bit more than default with the new realism theme, but not a whole lot. They look better, but they don't look like the rest of the pack, if you get what I'm saying. Tools, I spent about 10 hours, maybe a little less, making the tools look more realistic, and I believe I changed them to 32-bit instead of 16. I didn't want to go too high because I'm not great at making textures. I think I did pretty well. So we got, you know, swords, axe, pickaxe. That's netherite armor and netherite sword. Netherite armor, I pretty much just used one of these, I don't remember which one, and made an overlay on top of the default armor and then edited it so it fit correctly. And I think it looks nice. It kind of adds some texture while keeping the default Minecraft feel. In the tools, I handmade all the tools in paint.net with literally a pencil, the pencil tool if you've ever used it. And then I added some effects to them to kind of make it look a little bit more realistic. I don't know, I'm happy with how they turned out. They don't necessarily look amazing, but they look better than the default ones for this pack. Here's all of them in a chest right here. You can see them. I really love the diamond one. The diamond one I think came out really well. The rest of them, they're not bad, but that brings me to the next thing, the chest. The chest, I increased the file to the correct file size instead of being, you know, 16-bit. And I also gave it a lot more texture, so it looks more realistic than just, you know, the stereotypical Minecraft one. I'll put the default pack on, and then I'll rejoin this map, or reload it or whatever, so you guys can see the difference, if you can't tell. But I did it to both those and the ender chest, Ender chest it's a little bit harder to see on because it's so dark, but you can still tell like, if you really look at it. I don't know how to zoom in, but you can tell. I added this barrel, increased the file size and made it have a little bit more texture, a little bit more grit, so it fits in better. I'm not amazing at hand drawing textures. I only did the swords and that took me forever. I mean, the swords, the tools. So I'm probably not, for most of the blocks, not going to hand draw them, but I'm at least going to make them match better with the rest of the pack. And I think I've done a pretty good job so far. The anvil was already done by the original creator of the pack. So is the crafting table and the redstone lamp. Obviously you can tell the difference, but at least it looks a little bit better. Needless to say, the original textures are better. I'm just trying to create and kind of finish the pack so everything can be used and everything looks better and more HD and kind of matches better. But if you've never seen the original pack, I placed down a couple blocks just so you can see how cool it is. Especially this enchantment table, I love the way it looks. I'll probably have to update the book as well because the book is default, but glowstone, sea lanterns, you know, it all looks pretty amazing if you ask me. And I mean, they've got most the basic blocks down, especially if you go back a few updates. Like, I just have to essentially update it and add more in because they pretty much only did building blocks. They didn't do tools or anything like that. I'm gonna switch to the default texture pack just so you can see the difference now. So here are all the default textures. I'm hoping you can tell the difference. Pretty sure you can. Obviously this hasn't changed because I haven't updated that. But the trapdoors look different. That's what it would have looked like if I hadn't have updated this one, because that's what it looked like on the server before I changed it. I'll explain that in a second. Default tools, default armor. I do like the default look of that though. I'm really gonna have to update these and make the new ones look more like the default. Default tools, chests, no texture, just, I mean it has texture, it's just, flat Minecraft texture. Default barrel, just not as HD. Anvil, all this stuff. It just looks better and more realistic with the new texture pack. Torches too, I don't know if you saw the torches. I'm going to put it back on in a minute and join my realm so you can see that's the whole reason I made this pack and working on it. It's because it's the pack that I use on my realm with my friends and everybody, because they like the default feel of Minecraft, but I like texture packs and I just love the way it looks and they like it. So I also had to fix water on the texture pack. I don't know why, but with the default Realistico Bedrock texture pack, the water just doesn't show up. It's either like black or just not there, like see-through. So I fixed that. I'll show you in just a moment. So I don't know if you guys know this, but you can't use non-marketplace texture packs, at least as far as I know, on any platform besides PC. But if you put it on a realm and force them to download it, then they can use it. Or at least I believe they can use it outside the realm, but for sure they can use it in the realm. Even cobblestone, it looks sick. Torches. This is it. I fixed the water. I made it a little bit darker than default, just because default, in my opinion, is a little bit bright. Chest, it all just kind of matches. I haven't done effects or anything like that, but honestly, it doesn't really matter too much. I think it looks fine. Lanterns are probably the next thing I'm going to update because I love using lanterns in my builds, but they're just default still, and you can kind of see through them. It's a little glitched. Obviously, sword, armor. But yeah, this is our Skyblocks realm, and we've been using the texture pack on it for a while. Oh, that's nice. Let's try to get up there to show you. We've been using the texture pack on it for a while now, and everything mostly looked fine, but a lot of the blocks just kind of seem out of place or low grade compared to the rest. So that's the whole reason I'm doing this, and tools too. Just having the default tools, I don't know. I wanted default looking tools, but not default tools, if you get what I'm saying. This is our Skyblocks. You can't really see a lot because render distance on Bedrock isn't amazing, but I'll go down here and show you the big map. has everything on it. We've been working on this one for quite some time. That's the portal back to the hub. The only change I made to the actual map itself in creative mode was adding command blocks to add a trading area. I'll show you that in a sec. So this is where we are now. That's our house. And that's the house I'm working on. That's just the map's not being rendered correctly. This is everywhere we've been working on this for quite some time. That one's not updated. We actually finished that path, and that giant water area is a underwater fortress or sea temple or whatever they're called. And that's kind of what we're working on now, is clearing that out. So it's a shock. This is the only thing that I changed thus far. Make it so you can mine, where is it? Cobblestone. 32 of them equals 1 emerald. Press the button with 32 cobblestone and it'll give you an emerald, and take your cobblestone. And you can buy iron, because resources are limited on Skyblocks, and I know we're going to run out probably pretty soon, eventually. Unless we want to mine out all the islands, which kind of look crappy. So I made a trading area so we can get stuff that we either can't get or have a very limited supply of. None of it's cheap necessarily, but... And that's going to do it for this video, you guys. I will see you in the next one. So everything else pretty much still looks the same, but some things that I've updated since I originally filmed this video before I edited it. I made the armor look more like default. But if you get closer, set it to day, you can tell better. They do have more texture. A little bit more realistic, but keeping the default original look. I didn't want it to be too overwhelming. But I think they look decent. The gold, I kind of don't like it because it's faded. It almost looks like urine. I'm going to try to fix that. But I've got other things on my plate first. I also added another trapdoor. Blackstone. I did blackstone. As you can tell, it's got more texture on it now. Basalt, I did basalt, and what's that called? Gilded blackstone and normal blackstone. I did those. Crying obsidian. Obsidian was already done, but crying obsidian, I made it in animated texture. I need to make it what's it called? Lighter, so it blends in with obsidian better. That's what I would like to do, but I have yet to be able to do that so far. But I'll probably try to do those things before I finish editing the video and upload it, so I guess you'll find out in the download below.